At one point, my off-market real estate company, HelloPad, was getting over 100 leads per day that we could convert into an off-market opportunity or a listing. You're about to get an MBA in real estate marketing completely for free that most would charge you $20,000 or more for. Let's get right into it. In 2019, after doing just a dozen real estate deals, I signed a personally guaranteed office space for an office in Benson Hill, Renton, Washington, with bullet holes in the windows and torn up carpets, and I was 19 years old. I had no idea what I was doing. And in that office in Benson Hill, I started filling it with buddies that had any kind of sales experience or wanted to learn or work in the real estate world. But what I didn't know at 19 is that for every sales guy that I hired, I needed about 10 leads per day. Otherwise, they couldn't put food on the table for themselves. The formula I'm about to give you is what fixed all of that for me. It's what led me to do a couple hundred off-market deals, my Bigger Pockets appearance, and the other companies I've been able to build. What I'm about to go over is my thesis that has allowed us to generate over 7,000 off-market leads since 2017. It's my thesis that's allowed me to build a nationwide renowned lead generation company for real estate investors and agents, and unlock levels of team building and systemizing that you don't think are possible until you truly have an abundance of lead flow. And best of all, I'm not just leading up to a sales pitch, I'm giving you it all in this video for free. If you don't generate your own leads, you don't truly have a business. Let me tell you the story of two guys. The first guy was an amazing house flipper that flipped 20 houses per year for his 20-year career flipping houses. That's 400 homes that he flipped in those 20 years. Now, if he was even paying out an average of $10,000 in assignment fees per deal, most of you guys pay out a lot more than that. He paid out $4 million of assignment fees throughout his career. That's actually his money. Then you go to scenario B and another guy who does the same amount of deals, but he learns how to source them internally. And he's putting even just that $10,000 back in his pocket every single deal and that $4 million over his career. And once you compound that into more deals and more opportunity, it's probably a lot more than $4 million. Who do you think ends up wealthier with a better company and a better portfolio at the end of that career? Here are some stats to show and prove the importance of this for you. On average, nationwide, you'll do one deal about 30 to 50 leads you can generate internally. On average, you'll pay about $2,500 per deal you source internally, but you'll make an extra $15,000 on average per deal. Only 20% of investors nationwide have sourced their own deal. That's active investors. Imagine the leg up you have on all of them. And on average, flippers, investors, wholesalers that source their own deals on average do at least 50% more volume per year. Don't build this just because I'm telling you to. The numbers and data is what you should be focused on. Sourcing your own deals is hard, but giving away $4 million over your career is also hard. Choose your hard. Before we get into the funnel and the meat and potatoes of this video, I'm going to bust some myths for you guys that absolutely need to be busted. The first is marketing is not an expense. Real estate agents and investors are notoriously bad business owners, and one of the reasons is they see marketing as an expense, not an investment. And marketing is an investment back into your company, your pipeline, and your team. You're not going to start getting deals 3 days after you start turning on leads. The sales cycle in this business on average to source an off-market deal is typically going to be 60 to 180 days. Yes, some will happen much quicker, but the goal is to build a machine where you get leads into it, you nurture them, you follow up, and the day that they're ready to sell, you're there. You have the relationship built and you've walked them along the path. The third thing is you don't need a massive sales team and a ton of technology to get started. And the fourth thing is the people that are already doing this aren't smarter than you. They just realized it was a need and started getting after it. If you're watching this, if you stayed at the end, I'm going to tell you how to access our catalog of over 300 videos, trainings, SOPs, and tools and vendors of how to build your off-market marketing funnel. And no, this is not an upsell into a $2,000 mastermind or course. First is foundations. You need to understand the basics of foundations of marketing for real estate. One is brand basics. The first thing you have to know and understand is indirect or direct credibility. You have to be able to build credibility with your prospects. Direct credibility is testimonials, whether it's written or online reviews, Google reviews, Yelp reviews that you've gotten about your product. It's you posting, reviews on Instagram and your sellers seeing that. You also want to be careful with the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. They're cracking down on fake reviews. So don't fake them. Get real reviews. Do the work. Then you have indirect credibility. Your title and escrow company or closing attorney that can talk to your sellers for you and vouch for your behalf. That works incredibly well. Other brand basics is having a simple landing page, a website that looks professional. It's having a company email, not an @gmail.com email. It's having a credibility packet, which I'll talk more about later. Those are the brand basics. Then you have to to understand what a lead is. That's part of the foundational part of real estate marketing, right? A lead is something that has one of the 4 pillars of motivation, which is price, condition, timeline, and motivation. Has to have one of those 4, preferably more. Then you have to be able to treat every lead like your only lead. See, the reality is, as a marketer, your job is to treat every single lead like your only lead and make sure your team does as well. Then you need to understand the typical sales cycle. The typical sales cycle, like I talked about before, is 60 to 180 days. So don't expect to get rich quick. Then you need to understand ROI and money involved. In real estate marketing, you should expect a 2.5 to 4.5 return on investment over a year period on a marketing channel. If you're below 2.5, you might want to reallocate some of those dollars or try to do what you're already doing better and then do more of it and see if that improves. Or if you're above a 4.5x, you should be spending more and doing more of what's already working. The second thing you need to understand is your buy box. What are you buying and where are you buying, right? Are you buying single family, commercial, multifamily? Are you buying mobile homes or land? What are you buying and where are you buying it? You have to have that down in order to generate leads and build your marketing funnel. The third thing is reverse engineering your goal. You want to build yourself the dream, not a prison. I know so many guys that have said, hey, I'm going to start generating leads and trying to do a bunch of deals. And they don't know why. Reverse engineer where you want to go. Start with the end in mind. If you want to do 5 deals a month, great. Let's solve for that. Budget. What is your budget? What do you want to spend on your marketing campaign? If you have $5,000 to spend, great. The equation I use to help people get here is what could you spend for the next 6 months without seeing $1 back on? Is that $2,000 over the next 6 months, $3,000 a month over the next 6 months? What is that number for you? That's a great place to start. And then you need to understand inbound versus outbound marketing. Outbound marketing is your cold calling, your pay-per-click, your SMS, your RVM. For us, topic of this video, the way we are able to generate 100 leads plus per day, that was with cold calling, right? And that is by getting good data, whether it's predictive, niche, or general data from sites like PropStream and ListSource and Prospect Now, skip tracing that data with a reputable skip tracing source like easyButtonSkipTrace.com, and then deploying that list via cold calling. And for us, we've used EasyButton Investor, which you can find below this video, for our career. And now it's available to other people as well. And they do everything for you. They generate the list, they skip trace the list, they send you leads daily. They do all the management, plus there's a bunch of other services they do for us as well, help place admins and team leads and transaction coordinators and much more. Then you have the inbound piece, which is pay-per-click, pay-per-lead, TV ads, SEO. Those are more costly, but if you have the experience and the reps and the team, adding on some of that is a great idea over time. But you first have to understand, reverse engineer your goals. So if you want to do 5 deals per month and you understand that in your market, that's why it's important to track your KPIs, you need 50 leads to do a deal. Well, then you need 250 leads per month to do that. One cold caller, for example, can bring you 1 to 3 leads per month when done right. So let's say 2 to be conservative. So if you need 250 leads per month, that breaks down to roughly 250 leads per month. If we do 3 leads per working day, that would be about 24 working days a month. So that would be about 62. So we need 4 times that, a little over 4 times that. So we need about 12 leads per day. So with cold calling, we need 5 or 6 cold callers to do that. If you're doing pay-per-click or pay-per-yell, you need to figure out your KPIs and reverse engineer that. Typically speaking, I recommend starting with the cold calling base and adding on top to get to your goal, but you have to reverse engineer how many deals you want to do to start with. Then deployment, you guys, right? Softwares and tools. Go back and watch my other YouTube videos talking about each specific marketing funnel, but you want to make sure you're deploying with the right tech stack and tools to run that marketing channel. I recommend hiring stuff out, you guys. Unless you're a marketing expert, you need to focus your time on the highest leverage stuff, which for 99% of us in this business is talking to as many sellers and buyers as possible. And then understand compounding, you guys. Your $5,000 can turn into 15 and 15 into 45. The compounding of marketing and consistently increasing your marketing budget and reinvesting into marketing is what gives you compounding growth in your business over years. Some examples of this is Devin right here, who's crushing it. You have Caleb, who's now crushing with this pipeline that I'm talking about. And then you have Carl, who's crushing at the same pipeline that I'm talking about right now, the same funnel that you're getting here for free. There's dozens more videos and written testimonials down below at the link that you can see what this funnel does for you once you start generating your own leads off market. Talked a lot about through this video, things that I want to give you to help you with this funnel and creating it. Well, now is that time. I started this video by talking about furus and fake gurus and people that did a deal or two and now decided they want to teach you. Well, I'm anti-course. I am not here to sell you a course. You will not find $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $10,000 course from me online. What I did is I took everything I learned in my business and I turned it into a community that helps you get to where you want to go. In that community, there's 500 training videos. There's 200 resources, SOPs, and tools that you can see here. Every vendor we use at a discount that you can see here. Weekly live training and Q&A calls that you can see here. A forum for discussion that you can see here. And an exact client journey, whether you're at 1 deals, 3 deals, 10 deals per month and want to grow. That's all listed right here. It's in there, documented, ready for you to go. And the best part is, you guys, this doesn't cost you $100. This doesn't cost you $50. This doesn't cost you $40. This costs you $27. And if you don't believe me and you get in there, you don't think it's the best thing you've ever seen in terms of growing your business, I'll refund you the $27. But for a Subway meal, you can get in there and change your business forever. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. If you're new to the channel, a subscribe, a comment, a share with a friend means the world. These videos get made because you guys reach out asking for certain things, and that's what I'm here to help with. You can follow along my daily journey building my companies online across platforms that are linked below, and you can listen to the Easy Button Investor podcast. 2 episodes come out per week on wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else. So give me a like and a subscription on those platforms as well if you like this kind of content. As always, until next time, you are only one deal away.